everyone, this is Emma. I'm in Minneapolis, right now downtown, outside of the Hennepin County Government Center. Probably in just a few moments this solidarity rally will get started. You can probably assume that this event here today is in response to what happened yesterday in Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is not terribly far from here. I do know some independent media folks from here headed that way today in anticipation of events continuing in a similar vein as they did last night. If you're not aware, 29-year-old Jacob Blake was shot by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin yesterday, 7 times in the back. Last update I saw, he's still in critical condition. He underwent surgeries overnight. His 3 young children, I believe they were 3, 5, and 8 years old, were in close proximity when their father was shot. And the people of Kenosha responded quickly and filled the streets. There were multiple live streams going. Lots of things burned. Lots and lots of tear gas. A similar sight to the stuff that we saw here in Minneapolis and St. Paul and across the country, and what has been continuing in many cities since then, but has been largely absent from mainstream media. Speaking of that, when this event here does get started, if you could please share this live stream so people see what is happening here in Minneapolis, that would be great. It was scheduled to begin at 5 o'clock, but there's still a steady stream of people coming in right now, so it seems like they're waiting a little bit to get started. I assume this is going to turn into a march. There were a lot of marshals here when I arrived in the vests, but I don't actually know what the plan is. Check.
We're going to go ahead and get started. If people can come a little bit closer, but do your best to social distance, that would be great. If you need a mask, just be sure to come see me. I have some extra ones in my bag. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Nikema Levy-Armstrong. I am a civil rights attorney, activist, and founder of the Racial Justice Network. I'm glad that we were able to pull today's event together as an emergency response to the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that happened on yesterday. Thank you to all of the organizations that agreed to co-host this event on short notice. Thank you to all of the marshals who dropped the things that they had to do to show up here, all the medics and all the volunteers. Let's give them a hand. Thank you to Peter Pepper, who is always providing music for us. We have to give honor where honor is due, because we have literally been going nonstop since May 26th, 2020, since George Floyd was killed on May 25th. And it takes a lot out of everybody. So the first thing I'll say is to make sure we are checking our mental health, our emotional health, our psychological health, and that we are doing self-care. So make sure you are doing a self-check and you are checking on the people around you, because not everybody can go day in and day out dealing with this type of trauma. Just when we think that we're beginning to process trauma from a police shooting, something else happens that re-triggers people over and over and over again. And I know that for this particular situation, as a mother, I am outraged knowing that Jacob Blake's 3 of his 6 children were in the car watching their father be shot down by people who are supposed to protect and to serve. And that trauma is going to have to live with those kids as their father continues to fight for his life, as school begins to come back into session, and thinking about all the children across Wisconsin and across the nation who are constantly being traumatized by seeing black people be gunned down by police, as well as indigenous people and other people of color. That pales in comparison to some of the people in a little suburb, which I won't mention, that had the nerve to complain about someone using profanity, yelling at what they call children. I was there. I saw the entire thing, knowing that that person was talking to adults, but they're focused on the so-called trauma of those children, and they do not give a damn about what's happening to our children, which is unacceptable. Only privilege allows you to do that. Only privilege allows you to see black people's pain and trauma and to still have the nerve to censor whiteness and white privilege, which is unacceptable. That is a form of white supremacy. So if you are a white person and you are down with this movement, begin to use your voices on social media. Don't let your racist white relatives talk garbage about the movement and censor whiteness without holding them accountable. And I don't care if they're Republicans. I don't care if they're Democrats. I don't care if they're part of the DFL. I don't care if they claim to be liberal. I don't care if they claim to be progressive. I don't care if they claim to be evangelical Christians. They still need to be put in check if they cannot see black pain and have some damn empathy. That is not the gospel. That is not being progressive. That is not being liberal. It's been their indifference and inaction that has allowed things to get to the point that it is right now. And they have the nerve to get mad when we rise up peacefully and fight back. They want to cry tears over some damn pinata effigies, but won't cry tears when a black body is slain on camera right in front of their faces. It's absolutely ridiculous that you can cry over some damn paper and not cry over a real person. I'm fed up with the nonsense in the state of Minnesota. I saw a white woman today have the nerve to get mad because I said that Wisconsin is Minnesota's twin racist state. And she said, see, she lost me when she used language like that. I said, I never had you to begin with. Because if you're really about this life and about this movement, you would know damn well that Minnesota is one of the most racist places in the United States of America, which is why many years ago we were calling it the Jim Crow North. It's been racist, just like Wisconsin has been racist, just like Iowa has been racist, just like Illinois has been racist, just like the Midwest has been racist. We have to acknowledge that that's what's going on here. That's why the cops felt so comfortable gunning down a black man in broad daylight in front of many witnesses. And we've seen the same thing happen right here in the state of Minnesota, and we have seen a lack of accountability. So that's why we are gathering today. We're gathering to demand justice for Jacob Blake. We are gathering to demand that the officers who shot him be held accountable under the law, and that his correct name be released to the public. And if that is the officer that people think is also a school resource officer, he needs to be fired immediately for from both jobs, and charged, and prosecuted, and convicted for what he did. Somebody say enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
I said enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
So we're going to hear from some speakers today who are just as on fire for justice as I am, who are just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and who are continuing to keep the energy and momentum going right here in Minnesota and across this nation as we demand justice for Black lives. Period, point blank, unapologetically demanding justice. So with that, I'm going to call up Tucson Morrison, who's going to lead us in a few chants, and then we're going to hear from some speakers. And Tucson, as a Black man in this movement, if you want to drop some words, please feel free. Let's welcome him.
Say his name, Jacob Blake. Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
When I say Kenosha, you say, we got your back. Kenosha.
We got your back.
Kenosha.
We got your back.
Kenosha.
We got your back.
Kenosha.
We got your back.
Kenosha.
We got your back.
Kenosha.
We got your back.
Kenosha.
We got your back.
Kenosha.
We got your back.
If you saw the video of what happened to Jacob Blake, or you heard about what happened to Jacob Blake, the idea is that it's no different than what would happen during slavery. And in slave times, a little bit, some would say no different than these times. In slave times, on the plantation, what the slave master would do is the slave master would make an example of a Black person. And they would brutalize, they would mutilate, they would torture, and they would put violence upon that body. And in doing that, they were hoping to show the rest of the Black folks what would happen if they ever stepped out of line. To show the rest of the Black community and family members, to traumatize them, what would happen if they ever stepped out of line. And although white folks may not believe that they're a part of this narrative, they are absolutely within it, participating within it, and living from the benefits of those same measures of brutality and torture that their ancestors used upon us. The attack of Jacob Blake, the attempted murder of Jacob Blake, and right now he's in serious condition, has just gotten out of surgery last I read, that act is part of your history. That act is part of what you benefit from and where your privilege comes from. That act of violence is how you directly benefit in power, rank, and privilege in this country. So when you show up, you're showing up not for a man who was brutalized in front of his kids, in front of his community. You're showing up to show your white counterparts that you do not forget the measures that white folks used to check Black bodies, the measures that your people used to keep Black folks in line. You're showing up to show that you do not forget, and you're not going to allow it to keep going. And for the white people that are showing up just now after taking a 2-month or 2.5-month break off, you may have posted a black square to your Instagram channel. You may have told somebody to go vote and felt satisfied. You may have posted something online and felt satisfied. You may have had a conversation and felt satisfied. You may have shown up to a protest or two and felt satisfied. And I'm telling you, that's not enough, because our work is never done. And you have no right, no means, and no say in when you feel satisfied in this fight. And even using any word of satisfaction or connotations associated with it are extremely dangerous. You may think that you get to take the day, week, weekend, month, or year, or lifetime off. And if you can, it's because it is your direct privilege from the measures that the Kenosha Police Department used upon Jacob Blake. keep repeating that this is not a moment, this is a movement. Listen. But the action that you're taking right now, you need to sustain that. And when people rally together, a march in less than 24 hours, they don't do it because they don't have anything going on the next day. They do it because this fight does not stop, because white supremacy does not sleep, and because we will not stop the fight. The other thing to know is that Jacob was breaking up a fight. Jacob was breaking up a fight in his community. And if you've been anywhere near Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha, or Chicago, you understand that in the black community there is solidarity and safety in that solidarity. And the second that white bodies show up with badges and guns, it escalates. We are here today to say that we do not need them in the form that they believe they need to show up. The police presence escalates the violence. And we are here to say no more. So if folks that want to rant and spit back and lash out at Nakima and all the folks that were there at a certain rally over a week ago and say that they were terrorized or that they were disrupted, well then you can imagine how it feels to be in Jacob Blake's family. You can imagine how it feels to be black in Racine or Kenosha. You can imagine how it feels to be black in America. It's a continual disruption. It's a lifetime of terror, and white people need to check it now. There are the offices of your white leadership in that building and all around us here, of Jacob Fry, Lisa Bender, of everybody from city council, of everybody that's the political leadership that needs to be checked and most definitely replaced, because it is not working. It is not working at all. A man was shot in his back. And can you imagine what's going to happen if those cops are not charged, tried, and gone to prison? Can you imagine the tone that's setting for Jacob's kids? You look at war states of Palestine and Israel. You look at war states of Pakistan and India, and you say, oh my goodness, how did it get there? You look at Kenosha and you know. You look at places like Minneapolis and you know. When authority goes unchecked, we will have to put it in check. And that may scare some of you, and I'm okay with that. I am absolutely fine with that. I do not encourage or condone violence, but for people that have lived a lifetime of being put into a corner, a lifetime of being treated like a criminal, when their rage has been absolutely justified, you can imagine their retroaction is going to be that of somebody that's been absolutely tortured. And I can't judge that. I can't measure that. So you have to know that right now we're standing in solidarity with Kenosha, the justice for Jacob Blake, and that all the police officers involved are held accountable and brought to justice, so that they know down the road when they do this again, or if they think about doing this again, something is going to happen. There is going to be direct accountability for law enforcement taking the lives of black people. Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? All power to the people.
I agree with Toussaint, y'all, but Toussaint didn't say he was at that rally too just over a week ago. Don't be scared. Don't be ashamed. We said what we said. We did what we did. It is what it is. Period. Point blank. So next I'm going to call up Loretta Van Pelt, Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar. This mother, this activist, this woman has been on the front lines for years, holding it down no matter what. Let's hear it up for Loretta.
How's everybody
we doing? Okay. Here's the thing. I'm sick and tired of this happening all the damn time. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. How many more Jacobs and Georges and Briannas and Ahmaud Arbery's do we need for them to realize that our lives matter? How many more? I've gone to city council meetings. I've gone to this man's stupid office 16 times to ask him for justice, to ask these people for justice, and they never give it to us. I don't know, what is it going to take? Every town in this country to burn for them to give us justice? Because that's what is going to have to happen, is every town in this country is going to have to burn for them to give us any sense of justice. I didn't prepare anything because this keeps happening. It seems like we're just always on alert. And I'm sick of being on alert. I got better things to do than to be on alert about my life. I have children to raise. I have a job. Something needs to change. And it needs to change now. We've been asking for change and they never give it. So now I'm demanding it. Now they need to give it to us because it seems like every summer, every year, I'm protesting. I'm saying someone's new name every year. And I want to stop saying names, and I want to start seeing police officers in handcuffs going to jail. I want to start seeing the systematic change that we need. I want to see that instead of budgets going to the police, they go to our schools. They go to our homeless. They go to mental health. They go to people with disabilities. Because enough is enough. And we keep saying that enough is enough, but it truly is enough. And I'm getting sick and tired of this. And I know you all are getting sick and tired of it too, but we need to keep our feet in the streets. We need to keep pressure on these people. They're scared now. They're scared because they now know. They now know we mean business. They now know we played their game and we've been losing all the time. So now we need to change up the game and change the pieces. So that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you all so much for letting me speak today. Let's get justice for Jacob Blake. Let's get justice for George Floyd. Let's get justice for Breonna Taylor. Let's get justice for Trayford Pellerin. He died this Saturday in Lafayette, Louisiana, by the police as well. So all these people deserve justice, and we're going to fight for justice. Thank you.
Next, I want to call up another mother who has been on the front lines fighting since her son, Hardell Sherrill, was killed inside of a detention center. She has been on fire, speaking her truth. I don't know where she gets her strength, but let's give it up for Miss Delshia here.
Thank you, Nakima. Thank you, everybody who is here and showing support. And yes, just as the other mother said, enough is enough. I was at a Black Lives Matter rally yesterday, and I didn't want to speak because it is hard. It is so hard to get up here and tell the same story. So yesterday I said I'm not gonna say it because I didn't want to say it. And when I saw that young man, Blake, get shot in the back for trying to break up a fight, it just brought tears to my eyes as a mother who's lost her only son, only child. It is enough. And I pray every single day, I pray, Lord, please help us bring peace on earth as it is in heaven, and allow those who keep doing Satan's work to be held accountable. And like she said, police officers and the like need to be prosecuted to the highest of the law. Correctional officers and anybody that's in law enforcement, they should not be above the law. They need to be held accountable for the blood that is on their hands. Minnesota is hurting. It isn't Minnesota nice. It never was Minnesota nice. It's Minnesota hurting, and it's Minnesota angry now. And we demand justice now. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
And I've been saying no Jesus, no peace. No Jesus, no peace. I'm tired of this. Nikema shows up every time. Son shows up every time. And you guys come out and you rally. Those of you who have not lost a loved one, and I just want to say thank you, but I'm tired.
Can I have a couple of people to come over and comfort Miss Delcia Perry, please? She is a hurting mother. That was her only son, y'all. And she needs strength in the midst of what she's gone through, with no accountability. None so far. Lies, cover-ups. That shouldn't have happened to her baby. They treated him like he wasn't even human. This pain is real. It's real. And she's going through it every day, waking up without her only son. This stuff is serious. So any conservative media here, Alpha News, Mill City, the rest of y'all who we don't know, tell the damn truth. Stop propagating lies. Tell the truth about what we go through out here. Or stop showing up, spend your time at Trump rallies and the people with the flags and all that other nonsense. Leave us the hell alone. We ain't messing with y'all. We're just trying to speak our truth. For what we have been through in this country, what we have been through in this community, and it is very real and it's still going on. And there's far too many people who are comfortable with what's going on. Lord have mercy. With that, I'm going to call up Dorian Scott from Communities United Against Police Brutality to say a few words. Let's give Dorian a hand.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to say thank you all for coming out and looking for justice. This thing is just not here. It's the city council, it's city hall. They are locking the doors. They won't tell us when the meetings are, so we can do something about this. They still have Ku Klux Klan members in the police force, so they don't intend to do any changes. They don't intend to bring justice. They're doing the same old things that they was doing that caused George Floyd's death, that caused all these other deaths. So it's just a terrible thing, a terrible state we're in. We're fighting the same fight that we've been fighting for 400 years. Emmett Till, the list goes on. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Action, we need action. We're here, but it needs to be pretty much every day, because they're working on ways to not give us justice every day. Every day they wake up early to not give us justice. So that's where we are.
Let's give Dorian another round of applause. Next, I'm going to call up DJ from Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar. He joined the movement recently, but he's been putting in the work day in and day out. Let's give it up for DJ.
All right. So y'all need to understand that America's been at war with black and brown bodies for over 400 years. And I just want you to know that we need time, okay? We need time, we have family, we have friends, and we need basic necessities like the ability to fucking breathe, okay? That's what we need. This right here is stressful. I can't speak to what happened in the video. I can't stomach it. I can't watch it anymore. I can't keep up with it anymore. There's stuff going on down over in Wisconsin. There's stuff going on in Louisiana. I don't have time for it. I'm trying to organize here. I'm trying to help here. And I'm getting attacked from all directions. This is ridiculous. So I talked to my dad last week on the phone, and my dad tried to tell me that change doesn't come quick. And I need to accept that change will not come in my lifetime. And I also watched 4 hours of speeches from Malcolm X and MLK the other night. And I tried ignoring the fact that the videos were in black and white, right? So I closed my eyes. And I just listened to what they were saying. And I was shook to my core. When on multiple occasions it sounded like they were talking about Jacob Blake. When it sounded like they were talking about George Floyd. When it sounded like they were talking about Breonna Taylor. And all the problems that we as black people still face today. Real talk, there's no need to write any new speeches. All we gotta do is go back. Take an MLK speech, take a Malcolm X speech, take a Fred Hampton speech. Clean up the language a little bit. They like to use a little bit outdated terms, what we would consider. We run up the language a little bit, guess what? We have the exact same fucking speeches I've been giving the last 3 months at the protest. But my main reason for bringing this up was a disturbing thing I realized when I was watching a lot of Malcolm X. Was he was talking about a lot of people was telling him he needed to slow down. And how what he wanted could happen now, right? They kept telling Malcolm X, you're moving too fast. Here we go, fast forward 60 years. What the fuck has changed? They say we need slow change. What the fuck has changed? This is bullshit. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'm sick and tired of getting these same goddamn speeches. We need to realize that we have the power. Because this shit wouldn't be happening if we had community control of the police. This shit wouldn't be happening if we showed the politicians who got the power. Who got the power? We got the power. Who got the power? We got the power. Ain't no power like the power of the people because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people because the power of the people don't stop. All right now.
Thank you, DJ. Speaking truth to power. Next, we're going to call up Jelani Hussein from CAIR-Minnesota. He's been holding it down. Jelani started out all of this years ago wearing a suit and tie everywhere. But through his frustration, through his anger, he had to loosen up and start dropping it like it was hot on these microphones. Because he is mad, he is sick and tired of being sick and tired. He's been 10 toes down in this movement. Let's give it up for Jelani Hussein.
Thank you, Lakeela. Alaikum salam. First of all, I would like to start by greeting you all with a greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings be upon you all today. Are you here today? Yes. Are you here?
Yes.
I want to take this moment to ask God to bring speedy recovery for Jacob. We ask God in this moment to bring peace to his family and his children and to that community. I want to always tell the truth, no matter how hard it is, no matter how painful it is, we got to tell the truth. George Floyd was killed here in Minnesota, here in Minneapolis. Not much has changed. We have filled the streets, buildings have been burned, but to this now, until now, the city council hasn't done really much. And the state of Minnesota has only offered us watered down bills that actually the city of Minneapolis has already been adopting that has not done anything. I want you to know that we cannot just show up when we see the brutality. We have to recognize and carry that brutality and let it be the driving force that makes us to show up every single time. Because I see a lot of people here today I have not seen in a lot of the protests and marches that we've been having almost every single day in this state. So I'm asking all of you in this moment right now, for Jacob, for George, and for the many families that are in pain because their case was not filmed, their story was not covered, but yet injustice was done to them. Great injustice was done to them. So I'm asking every single one of you in Minnesota, we have an opportunity to stand up for justice. And we have to do it together. And we have to do it like it really matters. And I think that is the difference. And I'm speaking to a lot of young people because there's a lot of young people who really don't care. And they really care about making a difference, but they don't care about all the baggage that many of the other people carry. All the excuses that so many people have. A lot of young people don't have those excuses and don't care, but they care about each other. They care about the community and they care about the future. So I'm asking those young people today, it's time for you to lead us. It's time for you to lead us because there's so much pain in this country. So much pain. And what Jacob's story tells us is that it is going to keep happening. Sadly to say, but this stuff is going to keep happening until we have transformative change in this country. The police departments in this country are not broken. It's a system built on going after poor people in this country and black people in this country. They were doing what they had been trained to do, what they had been paid to do, and what the taxpayers of every city want them to do, which is to police poor neighborhoods, what is to go after black and brown bodies. That is the reality that we live in today. So when we talk about what we need to do in this country, we're talking about transforming and completely changing what it is about public safety. Why is it so that gated communities and suburban communities have absolutely wonderful safety? And why is it that poor communities continue to suffer from all types of violence? And that is because the resources have been taken out of these communities. It's also because of the policies that continue to feed corporate America. You know, there's a lot of people in this country who don't believe what is happening right now. But the reason why they don't believe it is because they're hearing messages and information from places like Alpha News, from places like some of these horrible blogs that consider themselves news, but they're not. And they're being told, just like in the 1930s when the KKK returned, that their enemies is their neighbors. Their enemies is their friends. Their enemies is their co-workers. There are forces in this country that are trying to turn us apart, trying to turn on each other. So I speak to all of you in this space right now. We got to get angry. We got to get angry like it means something. And we got to fill the streets every single day, not just today. We got to continue to fill the streets because we're trying to protect the lives of black lives in this country. And we're trying to stop. We're trying to stop another black person being killed, being shot in the back. Just like the one we saw with Jacob while his children were watching. That is what we're trying to stop. That is what we're trying to stop. So if you have not joined this movement, you're part of the problem. Because we're trying to save lives. We're trying to put the light on injustice system that continues to kill black people in this country. That sees them as not human beings. And we're not just talking about police conduct. It's the policies that give police the blanket check to kill people, what is put by politicians. But it's also the mass incarceration. The many you don't hear their names who are locked up in the state of Minnesota, who are locked up all over this country for bogus charges, for policies of law and order that have targeted poor people in this country. That's what we're talking about. So I speak to those people right now in jails. We see you, we hear you, we believe you, and we're coming to get you out. This moment is not going to go down in history as a light moment. It's going to go down as a very powerful moment because the people have filled the streets.
Yes.
And you have to recognize that the people always have the power. If you choose to stay home, you have chosen to take your power and not use it for good. And I believe if you think you're going to get away with it, I believe mighty God is going to judge you for staying home. Because the reality is, God asks you to do something righteous. And this is a moment right now where faith leaders from across this country have to come out and lead us. Lead us on the streets and march. Because it's the people who believe that God will intervene are the people who are going to win. We're not afraid of anybody. We're not afraid of anybody. We're only afraid of ourselves and the lack of our ability to make a difference in this country. So I ask every single one of you in this movement right now to join the fight. And that means getting out. And if you have to go to Hugo, we're going to go to Hugo. And if you have to go to any city across the state, we're going to go to any city across the state. We're going to go to places they don't want us to come because the powers be want to hide behind their houses. The reality is, there is a revolution coming in America. And the worst thing you could do is sleep in a revolution because this country is moving forward together for justice. Together for justice. And I want to end by this. I want to end by saying this. It hurts.
Man, it hurts.
To see another black person be shot in the way Jacob was shot. I kept looking at the gun. I kept looking at this police officer who looked like he was afraid. Who looked like he didn't know what he was doing, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He'd been trained to pull that gun out. And he saw Jacob as a threat. A man who was walking away. A man who was going inside his car with his children were inside. What excuse are they going to come up with now? What excuse are they going to come up with now? And that has always been the case. This system protects itself. The same prosecutor who works with that same police officer is the one who is now assigned or responsible for bringing justice for Jacob's family. This is how corrupt and colluded this system is. This is why we need to look beyond just the conduct of just the police officers, but recognize the policies that have been hidden, have been printed, and have been done in for by the both parties that we believe belong in this country. Both of these parties are guilty. Both of these parties have played a role in the justice system that we see today. But I'm going to tell you something. If you ever thought your vote matters, now it does. If you thought your vote mattered, it does now. But it can't be a blanket check for a party. It's got to come with actual demands. It can't be a blanket check for a color or a feeling or whatever you feel like, whatever your parents did. It's got to mean something. It's got to mean something. And this year's election better be the election that changes this country toward justice. Otherwise, we are all guilty. And in fact, we are all guilty, and that's why we got to this point we're in today. So I'm going to say the last piece, which is this. Don't give up. Do not give up. Do not give up, because we stand on the shoulders of people like John Lewis, who never gave up, even on his last days. Stayed in Congress, did every single thing possible to make sure something happens in this country. Who asked us to get into some trouble, some good trouble. And this is the moment right now in Minnesota. We got to get into some good trouble right now. We got to get into some good trouble right now. And to our brothers and sisters in Wisconsin today who are feeling the pain, we say to them, we see you, we hear you, we believe you, and we stand with you.
Let's give it up for Jaylani once again. That was powerful. So we're about to start marching. So I'm going to ask 3 or 4 volunteers to come up here so you can help Peter Pepper so he can start taking this system down. We have a sound truck over there that is waiting for us. I'm going to ask Toussaint, because he's going to start leading some chants, to come and get these bullhorns so that we can get started and get ready to march. They're underneath my daughter's stroller. She's a part of the movement as well. Little Asada, 3 years old, out here with us. So as Toussaint is getting ready to lead us in chants, we're going to get ready to turn that way. But one thing I want to say as we are about to move forward, one, we need to follow the instructions of the marshals. They are wearing lime green vests. Pay attention to their instructions. They're going to help keep us safe. I also believe that there are some of the bikers here who stand in solidarity with Black Lives. They're going to help lead us and keep us safe as well. When we get to our destination, we are going to hear from some speakers. We're going to hold some space at that destination. So it's important, again, for us to listen to instructions and stand in solidarity. And if you guys are out here today, I just want to encourage you and to remind you to not be ashamed for standing up for justice. It doesn't matter what protest you go to. You don't have to agree with everyone from every speaker in order to stand up for justice. White supremacists, fake well-meaning white people fool you into being ashamed for standing up for Black lives. So 9 times out of 10, their asses are sitting at home being keyboard warriors and not doing a damn thing to fight. So I refuse to back down. I refuse to give in. I refuse to give up. I refuse to let them push me into a corner. I'm hearing Harry Tubman and keep standing and keep outrunning them. And keep my truth no matter what. 10 times down. So if you're a part of this movement, be about this life. Or you're part of the problem. Now we will continue to be peaceful, just as we have been. Because our peacefulness is not proportionate to the violence that we have experienced. And here's the other reality. If we look at the people throughout history who have stood up to fight, whether they have been Dr. King or Malcolm X, they have still been assassinated for speaking truth on behalf of Black lives. So this country doesn't give a damn what kind of rhetoric you bring forward. If you are speaking the truth, you are seen as a threat. So you have to understand the movement that you are part of and be committed to this struggle for freedom, justice, and equality, no matter what. by the sound truck, and then the marchers are going to lead us. So you can chant as you want. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Matter!
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this live stream. We're live in Minneapolis right now at the Hennepin County Government Center for a solidarity rally for Jacob Blake, who was killed or shot by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin yesterday. The rally is about to turn into a march over here. If you haven't already, please share this and like this stream. Commenting on it is great too and ends up helping it show up in more people's feed.
Everybody stay behind the truck. Keep together. Safety in numbers. Black lives, they matter. Here. I said 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 Hmong 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 lives, they matter. Here. I said trans 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 lives, they matter. Here. If Jacob don't get it, shut it down. I said if Jacob don't get it, shut it down. I said if Jacob don't get it, shut it down. I said if Jacob don't get it, shut it down. I said if Jacob don't We fed up. We fed up.
Can't take no more.
We fed up.
Can't take no more.
Black lives, they matter. Hey.
Black lives, they matter.
I said native lives, they matter. Hey.
Native lives, they matter.
I said trans lives, they matter. Hey.
Trans lives, they matter.
I said women's lives, they matter. Hey.
Women's lives, they matter.
I said Hmong lives, they matter. Hey.
Hmong lives, they matter.
I said black lives, they matter. Hey.
Black lives, they matter.
I said our lives, they matter. Hey.
All lives, they matter.
Jacob's life, it matters. Hey.
Jacob's lives, they matter.
Jacob's life, it matters. Hey.
Jacob's lives, they matter.
Jacob's life, it matters. Hey.
Jacob's lives, they matter.
Jacob's life, it matters. Hey.
Jacob's lives, they matter.
When I say Kenosha, you said we got your back. Kenosha!
We got your back.
Kenosha!
We got your back.
For Jacob!
We got your back.
For George Floyd!
We got your back.
Brianna!
We got your back.
Black people!
We got your back.
Brown people!
We got your back.
Trans folks, come on!
We got your back.
For Jacob!
We got your back.
Kenosha!
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 We got your back.
Fists up, everybody! Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down! Come on, boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down! Louder! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here!
Shut this shit down.
Okay! Hey! Hey!
Boots on the ground.
To shut this shit down. Come on, boots, boots, boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots, boots, boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. If Jacob don't get it, if Jacob don't get it, if Jacob don't get it, if George don't get it, if George don't get it, if George don't get it, if Marcus Golden don't get it, if Marcus Golden don't get it, if Marcus Golden don't get it, if Hardell don't get it, if Hardell don't get it, if Hardell don't get it, if Cordell don't get it, if Cordell don't get it, if Cordell don't get it, if Brianna don't get it, if Brianna don't get it, if Brianna don't get it, if Elijah don't get it, if Elijah don't get it, if Elijah don't get it, if Lionel don't get it, if Lionel don't get it, if Lionel don't get it, if Justin Tiger don't get it, if Justin Tiger don't get it, if Justin Tiger don't get it, if Terrence Franklin don't get it, if Terrence Franklin don't get it, if Terrence Franklin don't get it, I said if Jacob don't get it, if Jacob don't get it, if Jacob don't get it, I said 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 if Jacob don't get it, 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 no justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. 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 Hold up. racist, you say MPD. How do you spell racist?
MPD.
How do you spell racist?
MPD.
How do you spell racist?
MPD.
How do you spell racist?
MPD.
How do you spell racist?
MPD.
How do you spell racist?
MPD.
How do you spell racist?
MPD.
How do you spell racist?
MPD.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Say his name. Jacob Blake. Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When native lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When native lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
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 When Asian lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When Asian lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When Asian lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
I said, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do you do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When brown lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When brown lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When trans lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When Hmong lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When disabled lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
I said, what do we do?
Stand up, fight
I
back.
said, what do we do?
Stand up, fight
I
back.
said, what do we do?
Stand up, fight
I
back.
said, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When I say this fight, you say won't stop. This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
This fight.
Won't stop.
If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
I said if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
I said if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
I said if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
you don't have to be a witness. You can join. You can join too. You can join. You don't have to be a witness. You can come down and join. You can be a part of it. You can be a part of it. You can come down and join. You can come down here and stand for Black lives. You can come down here and stand for Jacob Blake. You can come down here and stand up against racist police shooting brothers in the back. You can come down here and stand up against a system that's been absolutely complicit in eliminating black lives. Black lives, they matter, huh?
Black lives, they matter.
I said black lives, they matter, huh?
Black lives, they matter.
I said black lives, they matter, huh?
Black lives, they matter.
I said black lives, they matter, huh?
Black lives, they matter.
I said native lives, they matter, huh?
Black lives, they matter.
Native lives, they matter, huh?
Native lives, they matter.
I said Asian lives, they matter, huh?
Asian lives, they matter.
I said Asian lives, they matter, huh?
Asian lives, they matter.
I said women's lives, they matter, huh?
Women's lives, they matter.
I said women's lives, they matter, huh?
Women's lives, they matter.
Trans lives, they matter, his name.
Jacob Blake.
Say his name.
Jacob Blake.
No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. 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 Hey, brothers, hey, we're not here to break shit. We're not here to break shit. Please don't. Don't. No, I got him. Please do not tip this shit over. Don't do that. Please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 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 9, 10, 11. Hold up. We want freedom. All these, we don't need them. Everybody remain behind the truck. Behind the truck, please. Hold up, stay behind the truck. Keep it going.
We don't need it. Hold up. We want freedom. All these racist ass cops. We don't need them.
Come on, hold up. We want freedom. Come on, hold up. We want all these. We don't. Come on. We want all these. We don't. Come on. We want all these. We don't. 2,000 stolen lives. We refuse to close our eyes. 2,000 stolen lives. We refuse to. 2,000. 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 We refuse to. If anybody remembers what the first precinct was like a few months ago, you remember that there were concrete barriers all up and down this block. If you remember, President of City Council, Lisa Bender, had a meeting about a few days ago, and she only allowed 100 people in. She held about 200 people out. If you remember when homeless folks, unhoused folks rolled up on Mayor Jacob Fry's house, he didn't come out. This is the running narrative of your city. They don't want to talk. They want to keep the status quo. They want to keep it, as Nakima says, business as usual. They want to keep it all the same. But you're here today to say that you want different and that you demand different. You're here to say that the way things have been running are not working anymore. You're not going to wait to show up in a city council president's Zoom meeting. You're not going to wait until the cops come out, put their badges down and their guns down like Flint, Michigan, and march with you. You're not going to wait for Mayor Fry to take back all the racist rhetoric and white settling that he did. You are not going to wait. And you're showing up right now because enough is enough. Say enough is enough. is enough! Enough is enough! And now we stand here again because another brother, a black man. And when you want to talk about who's being targeted in our Minneapolis public schools by cops, when you want to talk about the private security hired in our Minneapolis public schools, who they're targeting first, these are our young black men. And I can say that with experience because I went to these schools. I was pulled over on my bike. I was pulled over jogging. I've been pulled over walking. I've been pulled over out of a group of white people as the only person to have something to do with trouble. So I know from experience, as a black man in this city, what it is like to be targeted every day. And when we take the amazing leadership of people that have been out here before George Floyd, before Jamar, since Dennis Franklin, before Dennis Franklin, and then give you a platform to speak in a very dangerous place like Minnesota. And then the white folks in Hugo want to act like they're scared for their lives. And then the Star Tribune that's here wants to put my face on the cover of their story and say that my name is John Thompson. You got me right the fuck up. We don't look alike. John Thompson gave a great speech. They tried to portray him as some angry, over-the-top animal when he is a human being expressing his justified and rightful outrage to a racist system. And if white folks find that scary, then I tell you, watch the video of Jacob Blake. If you find that scary, then watch the video of George Floyd. That's right. If you find that scary, close your eyes and imagine Terrence Franklin. If you find that scary, close your eyes and imagine Sandra Bland. White folks need a video to show up. We don't need a damn thing to show up. Star Tribune asked me today, you think black folks are going to show up in Wisconsin? I said that's not a question. The question is white folks going to show up and not center themselves like Portland? We don't need a wall of white moms. We don't need white people taking up the space. We need white folks to start listening, to start showing up, and to become a shield and not a sword. The second that you start tipping shit over, breaking stuff, they come looking for our black asses, not yours. Again, I say this from experience in Minneapolis. Biking, jogging, walking, minding my own black ass business, I've been pulled over for it all. Yep. White folks, you may have not. That being said, it's time for you to hold the space and listen to black people. It's time for you to stand up and keep showing up for black people. We don't need another Instagram black square. We don't need another hashtag. We need you to hold your constituents accountable. We need you to be shutting shit down every day. And we need you, especially, to start standing between police and black folks. Again, I'll wrap up on this narrative real quick. What they did to Jacob was to set an example for the rest of the black community, to keep them all in check. And they might have known that they were filming it too. So when they brutalize the black body, maybe they find that advantageous. Oh, this is going to be filmed. Now they'll all see it, and they'll all know what happens when they step out of line. So we can keep them all in check. And we saw what happened to Jacob. And we're not doing what they think we're going to do. We're not going to act in check. We're not going to stand back and be scared. We're going to show the fuck up! Mechanism. They say in faith-based communities, particularly in Christian communities, new level, new devil. As you ramp up your work, they're going to keep testing you more and more. As you ramp up your voice, they're going to keep testing you more and more.
As you start putting your white body out here, your family's gonna keep testing you more and more. And it's time for you to level up and keep leveling up and keep showing up. Say his name! Say his name!
Jacob Blake!
Say his name!
Jacob Blake!
Say his name!
Jacob Blake!
Who has been out here on the front lines since the police killed her older brother, Isaac Aiden. She is a powerhouse, a fireball. She speaks truth and let the chips fall where they may. Let's give it up for Samaya Aiden.
My name is Samaya Aiden. I'm the younger sister of Isaac Aiden, who was murdered by Egan and Bloomington officers last summer in Egan, Minnesota. I want to first apologize in advance. I'm like losing my voice. But thank you. But I don't know what to say just because this whole situation is very triggering. Every time someone is hurt, every time someone is murdered by the police, it brings you back to that day when it happened to your own. For the past year, I've ignored and avoided feeling everything, going through the grieving process and just everything, because a lot of the times and a lot of the families who've had someone murdered by police will tell you we're not afforded the luxury of worrying about when the funeral date is going to be, when we have time to cry, when we have time to grieve, when we have time to be with family. Because as soon as you find out they're murdered, we have to be out here fighting. Fighting for the release of evidence. Fighting for the accountability of officers. Because I promise you, had my brother been murdered by someone on the street, someone who looked like me, someone who looked like him, he would have been at his justice. But because they were white men and they had that blue badge, it was justified. In a state where there is no crime that warrants a death penalty, it was somehow justified. In the state of Minnesota, since the year 2000, there have been my time speaking, calling out the white progressive liberals who say vote blue no matter who, and who are telling us to vote for Biden and Harris, who are literal cops, but aren't out here, but haven't been out here, who are watching live streams from the comfort of their house.
And now you show up.
Where the hell are you?
Where are you?
Why does it take us being murdered on camera for you to for an hour and a half. For an hour and a half. This was in 2002, before there were body cams, before there was dash cams, before there was any accountability. Even to this day, there's still no accountability. So we needed you to come out, show support for his family. His daughter just became legal of age, but the statute of limitation does not allow for them to hold the officers responsible, accountable. So we are going to be there to show support for that family. And also, in addition, how many of you have heard of the defacing of the George Floyd mural? So the UMM students are holding a sit-in on Wednesday, August 26th at 12 p.m. This will be organized by physicians, nurses, midwives, advanced practice providers, allied health professionals. He is going to school to become a physician. We are going to hold him accountable and make sure that he does not get to graduate, that he does not get in the streets or in healthcare or at hospitals or whatever, and he'll tell you more about it. So continue to come out. Thank you.
And I've witnessed the implicit bias of white physicians, nurses, at the hands of the implications that we have on black lives. So this, what was it, on the 18th or 19th, a few days ago, we saw what a fourth-year medical student at the University of Minnesota medical student did with the defacement of the George Floyd murder. Was it? Does everyone know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So what we're doing is Wednesday at 12 o'clock at the school, we're holding a quiet sit-in at the school to have the demands that we want met by the medical school. So what we're asking for is to have this individual not graduate. So if everyone here, even for an hour, if you can come out for 1 hour, please, to sit in with us, show solidarity. So as soon as this individual graduates, we will come into our community and provide care for black individuals. So there's a reason that black individuals don't trust healthcare professionals. I mean, we can get back to the Tuskegee syphilis study, to the Henrietta stem cell studies that are still being used today in research that were stolen from a black lady. So this isn't something new. So black people are also being, their lives are being lost in healthcare. So please, this is Wednesday, 12 o'clock at the University of Minnesota Medical School. Please come and have a quiet sitting with us and demand justice for George Floyd. And have Daniel Nicholson, who's a fourth-year medical student, be held accountable. We want him expelled. We do not want him enrolled. We don't want him practicing. He's a white male. So, if this individual in the middle of the night could come out and deface a George Floyd memorial, knowing what it stands for, just imagine what he would do to a black patient who's vulnerable, who seeks his care. We don't want this individual in health care. Not at all, not one bit. There's hundreds of individuals that I work with, that I go to school with, who are racist. But we don't have any evidence. We have clear evidence. We have a fourth-year med student who's on video defacing a memorial, who has deep-held beliefs for my skin color, for the color of black minorities. We cannot let this individual into our community and practice health care. Please, I'm begging you all to come out Wednesday and demand this individual be expelled. It's not just police, it's health care, it's politicians. We are at risk as black individuals. So, please, once again, 12 o'clock Wednesday at the University of Minnesota Med School, Moose Tower. You can to look us up. It's White Coats for Black Lives. We're on Facebook. Once again, White Coats for Black Lives, Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Thank you, everyone.
Next up, we have Navish. He's a young man who's been holding it down at 38th in Chicago. He's been traveling around the Twin Cities at protests, and he started his own movement, Police the Police. Let's give it up for him.
Appreciate you. Y'all, she's a legend. Give it up for her, too. The first thing we want to do, because this situation is so different, our brother Jacob didn't die. He's still alive! He didn't die! Y'all feel me? When I seen he didn't die, he didn't die. I want us to take, I don't even pray, y'all, but you know, right now we about to. Because we gotta pray that he stays alive so he can see his day in court. So, however y'all pray, whoever you pray to, let's take like 5-10 seconds. We're gonna give that brother energy so he stays with us! They shot the wrong one. He gonna make it. He gonna make it. They thought he was Luke Cage. They thought he was 50 Cent. 7 times for no crime. Didn't apprehend him. His son's in the seat. Every time this happens, they just prove themselves. They just prove themselves. They prove themselves. They prove themselves. There is nothing you can do that warrants the cops to kill you. However, at the same hand, that's on the left hand, on the right hand, you can do nothing and get killed by the police. But this brother didn't die yet. That being said, 2 weeks after George Floyd died, it was a white dude in North Minneapolis. I don't know if y'all know about it. What's his name? Cody. He shot a black dude, ran back to his garage, had a rifle. The cops was right outside his place, and did he run away? He got away. He got away, proving you can do anything, and they won't kill you. But at the same time, you can do absolutely nothing and get shot in the back 7 times in front of your children. And he didn't die. He didn't die. So once again, keep this brother in your thoughts. Give him energy. Keep him alive. I want to mention two other things possibly. Since just 2019, in 2019, 1,004 people were killed by police. 1,004. Y'all can do the math. Bring your calculators out. That's almost 3 a day. How many did you hear about last year? How many did you hear about last year? 4? 5? If you super into it, maybe 15? If you're an attorney, maybe 100? We don't need accountability. We need redemption. We always talk about hold them accountable, hold them. But if I worked at Walmart and I killed your loved one, I'd go to prison or you'd kill me. So why, when you have on another blue uniform, if you kill me or my loved one, you won't go to prison and nobody comes and kills you? What I'm saying is dangerous. This is dangerous what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. That's dangerous. Having redemption for a cop, past accountability. Because if you kill my mom, or you rape my mom, which is legal for a cop to do in 31 states, including America, I'm going to kill you or you're going to prison. But when it's a cop, nothing happens and they continue working their job. We need redemption, not accountability. That's it. Say his name! No. Say his name like you were his son in the back of the car. Say his name! When we say his name, that's how y'all supposed to sound. Not Jacob. No. We're going to do it again. So they fucking hear me. Because they in there. What's his name? Jacob! Alright, y'all. When it's another protest on Wednesday, you go. When it's another protest on Saturday, you go. Because that could be your dad. That could be you. Stop playing, man.
From Native Lives Matter. He lost his brother in Denver, Colorado.
Gabriel Blanco. I'm one of the lead organizers for Native Lives Matter. And I'm also here representing my brother Paul Castaway, who was killed by the police in Denver, Colorado on July 12, 2015. We stand in solidarity. I saw the video what happened with Jacob Blake, so that's some fucked up shit that happened. When I saw the video, man, it pissed me the fuck off. The only thing that I could just think of, the first thing that came to my mind when I was sitting watching it, man, was fuck 12! 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 So before I get out the mic, I just want to give a shout out to some people, some Native people that has been killed in the last week. Just yesterday, there was a Native guy in North Dakota. His name is Jacob Ludicer. He was shot in the back. Brandon Ludicer. That's his name, sorry about that. His name is Brandon Ludicer. He was killed in North Dakota by the police. He was shot in the back 5 times. So we're here to stand in solidarity with him also. Thank you guys. So another name I want to bring up too, his name is Hebrew Otis. He was killed 2 weeks ago tomorrow. He was killed in Rapid City, South Dakota. He was a Native guy. He was having a mental health issue and he poured gasoline on himself. And as they were trying to talk him down, the police shot him with a flashbang which caught him on fire and he died. So we stand in solidarity with Hebrew Otis. Hebrew Otis. Another name I want to bring up, just the other, last week, there was an Indian girl. She wasn't killed by the police, but she drowned, saving 18 kids in the Minnesota Dam. So her name is Raina Lynn Nealon. Like I said, she was 18 years old and she drowned from saving 18 kids from drowning. She was the only one that drowned, so I just want to give a shout out to her. Thank you guys. Native Lives Matter loves you guys. Thank you.
All right, let's give it up again for Gabe, Antonia, Native Lives Matter. So in a second, we're going to get ready to march again. I want to give you a chance. Come on up and say a few words. Tell us about who you lost and why you're out here on the front lines.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andre Friedman. June 23rd, 2018, I lost a friend. His name was Thurman Blevins. Thurman Blevins was killed by the Minneapolis Police Department in a botched killing, a murder, as he was running away from them in fear of his life. I come out here to stand in
Freeman one more time. All right, we're going to hear from one more speaker before I hand the mic back over to Toussaint to help lead us back to the government center. Let's give it up for Todd.
What you doing?
He was a person. I remember when Thurman Blevins got killed. I remember when he came out to the streets. It was begging and pleading. Stop killing our people. From Minnesota to where Jacob was at, to where Breonna Taylor was at. We all gotta stick together, because they're gonna take us out one by one. You understand? So if you at home right now and you're not feeling us or feeling it, you gotta feel us at some level and stop counting us out. Black lives matter, and we gonna keep screaming it in your face, and we not gonna change the name. We is not terrorists. We walking down these streets peacefully, getting ran over by cars and semis, snatching semi-truck drivers out their truck at 60. Who else doing that peacefully? Let's stop talking about that. We need to talk about what our youth is really feeling right now. I'm 30, and they love this energy. Why? Because we not going to back down. We going to fight. We going to put everything on the line for we die. We going to do everything we wish our parents would have did. You understand? And it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. We got to keep calming ourselves down, worrying about self-care, worrying about going too far. That's our problem. So if you want to support us, support the movement. Show up on Wednesday to the city as we do with them, because we know medical staff is now got some type of racial something's going on in there. But we also know that the medical field right now with COVID-19, what is they doing with our bodies then? Come on, y'all. Mask up, stay safe, keep pressing, keep pushing. We're going to keep marching. We love everybody out here for showing up. Show up again. We out here at the Black State Fair as well, continuously advocating. We need y'all. Everybody need everybody. So make sure you meet a friend today, interact with them, and come show love to the community. Come show love to Jonathan Mason. Come show love to Justice Squad. Y'all see what they doing. All right, love. I got it.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. I said, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When proud lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When proud lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. 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 Stand up, fight back!
Get in the fucking building! The fuck are you looking at?
Fight back! Stand up, 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 fight back! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! When do we want it? Now! Black lives, they matter here. 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 Black lives, they matter here.
Get the fuck out of here! Go in the building!
Black lives, they matter here.
Young cops! What?
Minneapolis police that you can see through the alley behind the building that have the riot helmets and shields on, and they're holding batons.
If we don't get no justice, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Come on, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Hold up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we want. Come on, hold up, we want. All these racist ass cops, we want. Come on, hold up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we want. We want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need them, need them. streets? Our streets. Whose 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 streets? Our streets. Say his name. Say his name. Jacob Blake. 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 When I say Kenosha, you say we got your back. Kenosha. We got your back. Kenosha. We got your back. Jacob. We got your back. George Floyd. We got your back. Rihanna. We got your back. The Black Fans. Jacob. We got your back. Kenosha. 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 We got your back. When I say Jacob, you say what? Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake. When I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives. Black Lives. Black Lives. Black Lives. Black Lives. Black Lives. Jacob. 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 Peter, you can cut the music. No justice. No peace. Prosecute the police. 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 Everybody stay back, stay back. If you're not a marshal, stay back, stay back. Don't go for the bait. Do not go for the bait. Stay back, stay back. That's not your fight. That's here to bait you. That's here to distract from what we're doing right now. That's here to distract from what we're doing right now. Real quick, stay focused. In 2015, they tried to bait folks outside of the 4th precinct from talking about what the movement was about. They got baited in a physical confrontation, and then some people started busting. So stay here. Stay here what you came. Stay here what the reason is that you came for. Stay here. Do not be baited.
In Louisville, if he was, she'd be real right now.
Hey, all I want to say.
Hey!
I want to close this out, and I want to say, if they thought we were leaving, if they thought we gave up, if they thought we were going to the street, this push was continuing. They're going to win.
We need our people here to arm ourselves. We need to arm ourselves.
Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose government? Whose government? Our government. Whose government? Our government. Whose government? Our government. I'm gonna let you know.
Go home. Get your guns. Go home. Get your guns. Go home. Get your guns.
I don't know what's going on over here, but I'll come see if I can tell.
Yeah, it is. Anyone who steps in between our rights and freedom.
If you're not wearing your mask for involvement, then back up right now.
Back up. Marshall, down on the south side of the street. Yeah, okay. So I guess arm the working class. Arm the working class.
Dready, you good, Dready?
Okay, I need y'all to all back up. If you're not a marshal, I need you to back the fuck up. Okay? If you're not a marshal, back the fuck up. Back up. Let's go. This way. Everyone, nothing here. Go this way. Everyone, I need you to move along to the wall. Come on, let's go. Everyone.
It looks like the marshals over there have linked arms and created a barrier around whatever it is happening. Looks like they're trying to move it away from here.
Come on! No, stop going that front. We're asking people to go back. Yeah, we're asking people to stay back, okay?
Stay back if you want to stay with the protest, stay back.
If anyone knows from a different live stream what that was about, please put it into the comments. All I could see, there was a taller guy who had his arm around the neck of another guy, and everybody was surrounding those two.
In a meaningful way, and we're going to do this together. We're going to do this together, and we need every single one of you to show up. I'm going to ask you, I have two simple asks. Two simple asks. As you see today, our numbers are strong. I don't want this to be the last day we come out this strong. There's a protest tomorrow and Wednesday. There's going to be many more throughout this week and weekend. I want you to bring people out. I want you to bring people out. If you come, don't come alone again. If you come, don't come alone again. Call your friends just like you would call them for a night out. Call them out and say, guess what? This is our moment. This is our time. And we are tired. Enough is enough. This might be, even in this time where we are in the middle of a pandemic, this actually might be the safest place to be than being even in a grocery store. I want you to know right now, this is the moment. And we are in this together. And I want Minnesota to change from Minnesota nice to Minnesota justice. We want to say Minnesota justice. Minnesota justice. Until we get it. Until we get it. We are tired of being the state that has the worst disparities. The state that is behind. The state that has done this right now. That killed George Floyd. The taxpayers who killed George Floyd. The city of Minneapolis and the residents here. But I'm going to tell you something, brothers and sisters. I'm going to tell you something right now. They have awakened us. We can no longer go back. After what we saw, the killing of George Floyd, no one can ever go back. No one can unsee what we saw. A torture of a human being for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. We can never go back. We are only moving forward. And to all of our allies, white allies right now, this is the moment. Dr. King did not cross the Selma Bridge with just black people. When we crossed the bridge in Selma, it was people all over this country who looked a lot like you here today. So I'm telling you right now, if we're going to cross those bridges, we're going to do it together. And so all the white allies who are telling you right now, have those hard conversations with your friends, your family, and the relatives that you have. But show up every single day. Continue to show up. And for all the politicians who thought their days was going to be hiding, it's no longer a blanket check vote. We are voting for justice. We are voting for our lives. We are voting with our voice and our heart. So right now, before I bring Nikema to close us out, here's how to chant. I have one last point. And I said this earlier, but I really mean it. I really believe deep down in my heart, we are going to win. We are going to change this country for better. We are going to win this for our children, our grandchildren. We're doing this for generations that are unborn. We are doing this for ourselves to look back 50 years from now and say, we heard the cries of George Floyd and we never stopped until we got justice. So therefore, we demand justice by any means necessary. And now I'd like to bring the voice of our generation, someone everyone knows here, Nikema. I'm sorry.
Let's give it up for Jaylani, y'all. Now, y'all notice, honestly, I gotta speak to this. Some people are here for the spectacle and the drama. But you notice that in the midst of whatever the hell was going on back there, we stood 10 toes down, focused on why we came here. And that's for justice for Jacob Blake. And that's for justice for George Floyd. That's for justice for all stolen lives. So if you are here as part of this movement, the first thing you have to learn is to listen to black leadership. So when we're saying don't run your ass down there, you don't know what's going on, who, what, when, where, and how. Most of y'all ain't armed. You can't do nothing about it. Stand and listen. That's why we have people in position to keep us safe. You don't run after any little thing that's going on. Stay focused. Period. So with that, I'm going to ask that we do the Asada Shakur chant. That's how we close every protest. And when you leave here in peace. Don't leave by yourself. Leave with somebody else. We know the police were down there outside the 1st precinct ready for some drama. They had on riot gear. They were ready, but we didn't give them what they wanted because we came in peace. Period. And that's how we gonna leave, in peace. So please repeat after me. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Last time, like you mean it this time. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. All power to the people. Power to the people. Can we get some music as we head to our cars? Can we get some music? Now y'all see the spectacle going on, but I'm asking y'all to keep it moving. If people want to burn flags, that's on them. We staying focused on what we came here for. So let's get some music as everybody heads to your cars. Thank y'all for being here. Keep showing up. Keep standing up. Keep speaking up.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching and sharing this video. Again, we've been live in downtown Minneapolis. This was a solidarity rally and march for Jacob Blake, who was shot yesterday in Kenosha, Wisconsin by Kenosha the police 7 times in the back, point blank. His 3 children, who are 3 years old, 5 years old, and 8 years old, were nearby in the van that Jacob was trying to get into when he was shot in the back. Minneapolis and St. Paul, in light of what happened to George Floyd, has been the center of a lot of this stuff, has been holding marches and rallies like this pretty consistently. The community here is no stranger, unfortunately, to what happened in Kenosha, and cares deeply for Kenosha and the communities across the country who are experiencing the same thing.
Watch the track. Guys, watch the track.
Just take a walk back.
When the masses are born, the myths of the cops disappear. Fuck MPD! 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 Fuck that flag! Period! Fuck them pigs! Fuck all that shit! They kill us on a daily! They shot a man when he shot in the car 7 times in the back! Why should I give a fuck about burning a sign or burning a flag when they burned our children and burned our fathers and burned our sisters and did not care? I refuse! I fucking refuse to live that way anymore! I will be left alone. I have to fend for myself in this world. No one else. We have to come together as a people and stop letting this happen. Stop letting the average saying it's cool. It's fine. We're their prostitutes. No, bring it to them.
Harriet Tubman said, kill the snake. That's the snake right there. Kill the snake. Every single dollar, bro. Fuck your landlords, too.
They do not care about us. And I refuse to give a fuck about them!
Kill your landlord!
I give a fuck!
he said, kill your landlord. I went from 0 to 100 real quick. He said, fuck the police. He said, kill your landlord. Kill everything.
My father
fuck
and
it.
my sister.
Kill your dog.
He
was like, fuck it.
Fuck 12! Fuck 12! Fuck 12! Fuck 12! If we don't get no peace, you won't get no sleep. If we don't get no peace, you won't get no sleep. If we don't get no peace, you don't get no sleep. If we don't get no peace, you don't get no sleep. If we don't get no peace, you don't get no sleep. Fuck up! Fuck up! Fuck up! Fuck up! Fuck the police! Fuck the police! Not the bad, you a bitch!
thank you again for watching. Again, this was live in Minneapolis, a rally that started right over here outside of the Hennepin County Government Center. We marched through downtown to the Minneapolis 1st Precinct building for more speeches and then marched back here.
I